Hey guys, welcome back to Second Kick Moto and Auto. So here we have our new project. It's the 2004 Honda Shadow Aero 750, and we're going to be calling this project Aero. Not like my last project, Aero, which was A-E-R-O, which is how these bikes are spelt, but since we're doing an Indian tribute, we're going to call it Project Aero, A-R-R-O-W. Put a little twist on that. So I've already unbolted the seat. It's just the two bolts at the back, and then it slides out under the front. And I took the 3 bolts off the back of each side, and I just connected the wiring. And this back fender is ready to lift off. I've got different saddlebags, and I've got 2 different options for a seat. Now, this front fender is going to be leaving. And I've got an Indian style front fender. I'm going to see if I can fab on there. That'll be the first big thing, because it's really going to tell me how this is going to go. If it's going to be a nightmare, then we might do something different with this project. We're going to get started. I'm going to start by just lifting the back fender off. I'm going to get the gas tank unbolted it off. Now, unlike the last Aero, up here we got 2 screws. We're going to get the dash off. There's probably wiring under there to disconnect. And then we're going to have to find our fuel feed, which is down here somewhere. Get it disconnected. And then I think there's a bolt here on the back. And somewhere under here, I think we're going to find one up front. Although it could be just in saddles where it slides up and rocks back. Which when I come back, we'll have a look at that. So I think I'm going to start by taking the dash off. And we'll get that front fender off, and we'll get the fuel tank off, and I'll come back to you if I see anything tricky beyond what I'm telling you right now. Okay guys, talk to you soon. Okay, so as you can see, the back fender's off, and so is the fuel tank. Pretty straightforward. When you undo the 2 screws that are on the dash, you can lift it up. This little clip, it's got a little push button that you push in. It's actually on the tank itself, and that frees up this clip to pop out. And then right here, here's a hose clamp, and that's your fuel line, and this is your breather tube that goes into the same spot where your on-off switch is. It's not like the old Aero where it was on the other side, although there is one over here that I just did notice. Actually, it goes over to the same spot. I think that's the overflow. That one wasn't very tight, though. I didn't even feel that. So on next is going to be the front fender. Now the front fender has the 2 bolts that hold the actual fender, but it's also got a big brace that goes, and I think it goes right up around underneath it, which I might use on the next fender. The problem with the Indian fender I got is it's just a tad too wide, so I think I might have to be trimming it out, and maybe I'll use that as a brace to help support the big fender. Okay, so we're going to get this unbolted. See you soon. Okay, so now we got to the front fender, and as you can see, it's off. There's 2 bolts on the fender I undid. Then I undid the bracket, let everything drop down. I took off the brakes, which were 2 bolts here. They're 12 mils. There's a little brake that holds the line, and I've got it over here. I'm going to actually tie it up so that it's not pulling pressure on the line. Hit a little block here because, as you can see, I got the fender over here, and I'm gonna have to, because this fender's so wide, I'm probably gonna have to cut a little trough in here, but I don't want to cut as much as I don't have to if I can get away with it. Unfortunately, I got to get this wheel off to get that up in here, and I can loosen these, but I do not have an Allen key for here. So I have to get some tools tomorrow. So when I get that done, we'll be back at this again. Well guys, before it gets real noisy in here on Project Aero, we're going to get to cutting here. And this is nerve-wracking for me because I want to do this right. So using the forks, using the old fender, and I got to cut a groove. I don't know if you can see, there's a groove in this fender, but even this fender is just a touch wider. So we're going to cut this out, and hopefully not have to cut up into the top where it's really structural. There is a brace from the factory fender I'm going to use that does go up inside it though, so hopefully that will help. And we'll get this fender cut and hopefully mounted, and when that's done, then I can strip the rest of the parts down and send them off to paint. Okay guys, I'll come back when I'm done cutting. Okay guys, well, first cut's done. Gonna drill those couple holes, and then the hard part will be matching it to the other side, but gonna do it so it's perfect. See you soon. Okay, and here's our end result. Yeah, I know it looks off on the video, but actually it's perfect. I'm really impressed that I was able to pull that off. That was some nerve-wracking measurements and playing around. I used a dry erase marker so I could correct my mistakes as I went along. And I'm going to get the holes drilled on this side and see if we can't fit this fender on the bike. Okay, so now that I've made the second cut, I got the holes drilled, and I'm just checking fitment. And obviously I'm going to have to trim out where the brake caliper goes. So I'm going to mount the brake caliper sort of up on the opposite side to see where it sits, just so I can figure out where I got to cut out. I need to cut out where these little nubs go as well. The bolts are in there, but it's flexing the fender funny. So I've already put the wheel up aside, and going off, I tried to do it the same height using the bracket and the old fender, so I know I've got lots of tire clearance here, so that's all good. And it should look good inside of there once it's up in there, but I'm going to have to do that hopefully on reassembly. I think I'm going to put the bike on the floor for the front fender. I have a different jack, and I'm going to jack the bike up instead of trying to get it way up high on the lift, and then slide the fender up in, and then slide the wheel up inside of it, so it's not such a precarious teetering deal up on my lift. This is just going to get the fender all fitted up before I send it off for paint, because as soon as this is fitted, I'm going to strip the back fender, get the tail light and signals off of it, and the tank's already stripped, and it's all going to go off for its paint. And we're going to go with the traditional Indian red and white. And while that's away, we'll be doing things like putting the driving light bar new signals on, and I'll be getting the new signals ready for the back of the bike and stuff like that. So I'll be back to you as soon as I get some more cutting done here, guys. Okay, so here's the fender mounted. I had to trim it out for the brake caliper. I'm trying to do it so I'm leaving as much fenders there. I'm still not sold on this yet. There is clearance, but it's awfully close. So I'm not sure if I'm going to trim out where the brake rotor goes, or if I'm going to make a bracket to pull it out. Same with down here, obviously. I'm not even sold on this. I might just trim it down. But I think seeing as it's almost 11 o'clock at night, and I need time for my brain to rest and figure out what's best to do here, I'm going to call it quits for now and do some research and maybe come back at it tomorrow. Okay, so here's the tank, the front and rear fender, all stripped down, trimmed up like they need to be. I am going to put just a little brace on the front of that fender at the bottom just to hold it out that little bit that I need to, so I'm happy that it's not going to rub. It's very, very close. I can't wait to get this back with the new colors on it. It's going to look and change this bike drastically. I'm very, very excited. I know by the way these videos release, it'll probably be over a matter of a few weeks, but it's actually taken months to get this bike to where it is now, just because I've had other projects. I've had a couple other bikes come in that needed work, and this one's just been when I had time to get to it. So next step is getting this back from paint and getting it assembled. Cheers. Thanks for watching.